Does anybody remember? 8?
You said
8 or
8.
9, yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to episode 8 or 9, most likely 8, of Emerald Knights, Corporia game I run every Friday night. We haven't actually gotten to run for a couple weeks because the plague has swept through the entire group, I think, at least, or close to. But we're finally all back together in one place, save for Miles, who unfortunately had to leave us because he just ran out of time doing the whole responsible adult parent thing.
Coward.
All right, so we left off at a pretty interesting spot, actually. You guys are starting to get more and more information about what's going on, and are asking some really good questions about who you should actually be trusting and believing, and what path you should actually take. So I'm going to have Arthur recap our last session, where there was a little bit more information that was dug up and attacked and put into zip ties and stuff. And then after that, we will get on with it. So go ahead, Arthur.
Okay, when last we left our intrepid heroes, we were following Melinda Murphy in her big fancy car as she was going to Tristan Legault's house. We strongly suspect Melinda Murphy is in fact Morgana. So we pull up, and our hacker hacks inside all of the building security and cameras. We see her go into Mr. Legault's penthouse. We decide, since we already kind of have eyes on her, we're going to go and follow up with the 2 members of the cult that we haven't had any contact with. We've already talked to Carol Huff, who was the drug addict. We talked to Winona Lamb, who was the assistant to Melinda Murphy, and scared her with a wyvern dog. And so now we're going to follow up with Joseph McGee, who we knew was attacked by a succubus, and Jeffrey Godwin, who Noah had slept with his mother. Also was a succubus. So we called for a pizza at Mr. Godwin's house. We then take the pizza from the pizza man, knock on the door, say, "Pizza's here." When he opens the door and says, "I didn't order up," we rush in. We then searched his place and questioned him. The question was, "Where did you get this cult robe that we found?" And he said, "What?" And then he got the bejeebus smacked out of him, because Moa not only needed to have sex with his mother, but kill him. I presume this is his archenemy of some kind. We ransacked the joint and found that he got a message from Melinda Murphy that says, "Start at the Starbucks tomorrow at 2 or something, or sometime at 2. We then say, "Hey, we got a bit of time. Let's run over and see Bobby McGee." So we ran over to his house, knocked on his door, and there was no answer. So I turned myself into a sexy woman and banged on the door and begged him to let me in. He didn't. And so then we took the bold step of opening the door. There was no one. We threw in a flashbang.
Right.
We searched the apartment and found very little of note. Mostly that he had an ex named Danica who he was all despondent about. So we thought there were 3 places nearby he could be. He could either be at the biker bar, the strip club, or the brothel. And we went in ascending order of sleaziness. Went to the biker bar, nothing there. Went to the strip club, and they said, "Danica hasn't worked here in a while, and what's his name? Joseph McGee isn't here, but he was here a little earlier." Then we went to the strip club. I magically opened the door and went in and found him having sex with a succubus. We restrained the succubus, took both the succubus and the nearly dead Joseph McGee back to Valyant headquarters, and we were there deciding what to do next. Oh, we also learned that Lancelot and Guinevere have absconded and cannot
Oh,
be seen.
son of a bitch.
So I have a couple of ideas and plans I want to run by everybody, and then I want everybody else's input, who can very well tell me to shut up. One, I want to see if the hacker can find any trace of Lancelot and Guinevere, because that seems shady. I'm also going to ask Nimue about it. But then I also want to see if we could run by Joseph McGee and Mr. Goodwin there, how they normally contacted Morgana. Did they ever meet face to face? Did they ever get like text back and forth? Did they have a secret signal or something? That type of thing. And someone who has more dice than me should ask.
Do we have that person anymore? Do we have a face?
That'd be Doria.
Okay.
And I think Noblest rolls like 7 dice.
Okay.
What do other people think?
I think we need to find Lancelot and Guinevere. Because that's just... Yeah. Where was Galahad when all that was happening? She was supposed to be keeping them apart.
She was with us.
Oh, God damn.
He's in a pretty foul mood about it.
Man.
So, before moving on to the future, lesson 1 from the past is Galahad doesn't need to come with us anymore. Maybe we ought to leave one member of our team at home base in general. Yeah. I don't see a better method than the hacker of finding Lancelot, unless you have some sort of connection with Morgana that you could exercise, some magic-y contact.
No, not really. Like I said, I think we should talk to those other two and see like what their connection was. But I also have my suspicions. I'm starting to get my suspicions about this Guinevere.
What exactly are your suspicions?
Yeah, like, it just so happened that Guinevere showed up in the lair of this magical enchantress, and we just kind of took it on faith that she was actually Guinevere.
Yeah, things just so happened all the time back in the day, though. I mean, that's how this all went down the first time.
Things have literally just so happened since we all met over and over again.
That's kind of our deal.
Lancelot just so happens to run a security firm who just so happens to be able to take us in and employ us as knights. Come on. It's not that far a stretch.
I would assume that the wizard of all of us would believe in coincidence.
No. Only 2 things I don't believe in: coincidence and leprechauns. I'm willing to give anything else a fair shot.
All right.
But yes, considering who if we weren't dealing with Morgana, I wouldn't think about it at all. But as she is this just magical enchantress, and this Guinevere happened to show up just as we were, raiding her company, it's something that I kind of got in the back of my head.
Well, whether it's her or not, we need to find the 2 of them anyway.
Yep. We're not solving anything by talking about it.
Yeah.
Hack them.
So
And who wants to come with me to interrogate?
And I will ask the hacker to see if she can track down Lancelot and Guinevere.
Okay, Kat, do you want to make a hacking roll?
I do.
All right, Nobilis, you better be back by the time I'm talking to those kids, or I might have to knock someone out again.
We're out of seconds.
I think we've learned our lesson.
I'll try that again. And actually roll it on the thing. Alright. What's my target?
How hard is it? Say 14.
Okay. And I rolled a 20.
Okay. Okay, you're able to track his cell phone, and after a little bit of pull and tug with Merlin, who isn't really inclined to give you the information, but for some reason he finally relents, and you find out that you're able to track his cell phone to let's see, where did they go?
Oh, right.
So you actually track it to outside of town, to a kind of an area with cabins.
With cabins? Like cabin in the woods?
Yes.
Campground?
Yes. Like one of those rental areas, kind of close to the base of the Cascades. A couple
It's been
hours.
abandoned for years, ever since the murders.
Like a murder cabin or a sexy cabin?
Wow.
Yeah,
Little chubby.
And he last used credit to at a grocery store about half an hour away from there.
How long ago?
That would have been, let's see, so you guys were out, would have been sometime in, like, probably about 2-3 hours ago. It looked like he left. In order to get there when he did, he probably left shortly after you guys left to go do your work.
All right, let's head out then. We might be able to still get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we just get him, what's the plan to get him? Hey, stop having consensual sex with that woman.
Yes, kind of like that.
Galahad says, have you tried that before? Did you actually just try to tell him to stop? At some
Last
point,
time this happened, I ended up fighting in a duel. I ended up choosing between him and my king. It was terrible. Lancelot felt bad. I felt bad. The only person who didn't seem to feel bad was Guinevere, actually.
Well, yeah.
Okay, sorry everyone. I'm back.
I just thought you thought all of that was hilarious. Silently.
I'll never know until I watch the video. But yeah, it's that doesn't really seem to be like a crazy high priority. If they want to be together, that's cool. But unless we can show that that's not really Guinevere and that is in fact, you know, an enchantress or something, what can we really do? Also, not for nothing, but Lancelot could probably kick all of our asses.
No, Galahad says no. You can't.
No chance.
Kick all of our asses. Definitely mine.
He's been
Well, yeah.
looking a little soft this century.
Obviously, he can kick your ass. That's one of your things.
I want to see if I can get 5 minutes with Nimue while folks go and talk to our last two cult members.
Okay. All right, who's talking to the cult members?
Muscle.
Lamorak is going as Muscle, which isn't talking.
Yeah, we need the rest of the.
We need to
Otherwise, I will stand there silently with my arms crossed and just wait for them to say something to me.
Or Law or Tagaday.
Yeah, who's got the better of the what is it? What role is that?
Wits plus influence.
That role.
Mine's fairly good. It's not lovely.
Yeah, I'll go talk to him, I guess.
Yay! You're the best.
I'll go along too.
All right. What is everybody else doing?
I would just, I would like to throw in another vote for the who gives a shit about those two and their affair this time. I mean, Arthur's not even here, you know? My loyalties, I know where my loyalties lie.
Well, I mean, I'm here, but
Where do your loyalties lie?
Yes, please be more specific.
I mean, we don't even know if Arthur is going to show up, right? I mean, I know that's the plan, but until he gets here, Lancelot's the one who's been looking out for us.
So your loyalty is to Lancelot.
He has my oath.
Yeah, I think Arthur's coming back, so I don't know.
If your loyalty is to Lancelot, then you should be attempting to stop him from making a horrible mistake like he did last time. When he went completely crazy over his guilt and wandered off into the fucking wilderness.
Yep.
yeah, but this
That's a fair
time
point.
Arthur completely away from Guinevere, and he can find like a different lady and have kids, and it won't last 1,000 years.
See that green thing down there?
Which would be great if he, I don't know. It just seems like it's a bad scene for him to show up, have this happening, and then, like, I don't know, maybe he comes back and is incredibly depressed and then just kills himself, and then where are we?
Back to square one. Evolution.
If he does that,
Arthur wasn't
try my
really
best to bring him
stable
back
to
life.
begin with.
No,
I
you're
don't
absolutely
know if I
right.
can't bring people back to life. I can try that.
My plan assumes.
Well, we could look for that cauldron. That brings people back to life, right?
Galahad is just angry.
Well, that's nothing new there.
At the world, or
She can't make a decision. It's not a good place to be in for her.
Things would be a lot easier if this were, in fact, like a succubus enchantress lady, and not actually Guinevere.
Which we won't be able to find out unless we go find them.
Yeah. Well, let's see what else we got. I don't want to go charging in there without some type of magical backup.
So what are we gonna do?
You are the magical backup!
I have a plan for that.
You
Alright, fine. We'll just go do whatever.
Plan.
those are our best plans.
Oh.
It's fine.
But first,
If I end up fighting a duel again, I'm gonna kill all of you.
the first thing I need to do is I need to talk to Nimue. That's the first part of the plan. But while I'm doing that, we need to figure out what's going on with Morgana and these cultists.
Alright. Alright, the group that's gonna go and talk to Joseph, right? Who are you talking to? Joseph McGee, right. He's being kept in the holding facility away from his mother, away from where his mother could even see him, like in another room, in one of those super high-tech, fancy comic book holding facilities.
Comic book holding facility.
Magneto's holding facility.
Kinda.
Yeah, okay.
Not quite that high security though. It's like
not floating over a pit.
everything's white and shiny, and there's force shields keeping him in instead of like bars.
Like the brig on Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek.
There you go.
Now, Deep Space Nine or Next Generation?
Well, do they
I'm
have
kidding.
technology?
Joseph was the one you guys found with the succubus, right?
Yes. Right. No, isn't Joseph
Jeffrey
the
was-
succubus'
Yeah,
son?
Joseph was with the succubus. Jeffrey was the one who we slapped. We'll call him Slappy McGee.
Slappy.
Okay. Joseph was nearly dead when you guys rescued him from the clutches of the succubus. Her name is not Danica, by the way. She has been placed in another holding facility with other succubi in the area. And nobody knows exactly where she came from. But her name is, Her name is Candy.
Of course it is.
She
With
seems
a
to
K
be.
and two E's.
She is indeed a stripper who somehow ended up becoming a succubus. She's off somewhere else. Joseph was nearly dead when your forces actually came to pick him up, and he's in custody and he's in a holding facility, but he's actually in a hospital bed as he's being nursed back to health. So he's not actually behind any force shields or anything. He's in the infirmary. Let's go there. Handcuffed.
I'm sorry if I missed something. Is there a specific reason why he would be being restrained?
Yeah, because he wants to leave.
He's a
Okay.
cultist still, even if he's...
No, I was just wondering if he had committed some crime that I was...
No, he really
missing.
wants to get back to what he was doing with Candy.
Right.
Oh, protective custody.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not really, doesn't seem to be all there. So,
Yes.
But of course, no one wants to let him go and have consensual relations with a succubus. Oh.
After we get the information out of him, I'm perfectly fine with that.
It would be dangerous.
All right, well, let's wake
What
him
are
up.
you gonna ask him?
Whatever. Yeah, actually, what specific information do we need from him, or think that he
Yeah.
has?
Yeah, what
What we're trying to do is figure out what was his method of contact with Morgana, or as he probably just knows her, Melinda Murphy. How did she contact him? Did they ever have a face-to-face meet? We got this message on this one phone, be it the Starbucks janitor thing. But we want to know, do they just show up? Do they meet her? Is this a normal type of message? How did he enter the cult, and what were the day-to-day cult things? The only other person we've talked to about this drug lady, we got nothing out of her.
Basically, any additional cult-type information would be helpful.
Yep.
Yeah.
But any information specific as to how we can start to infiltrate them would be best.
Where do we sign up? Do you have an application or literature that we may peruse?
So we do actually, I know you weren't here last time, we do actually have 80% of that. We have a job that we probably could go do, we just don't have quite enough information to do it safely.
Yeah.
Like we could go be the janitor at Starbucks if we wanted to.
Yeah, but for instance, we don't know if he had any other specific instructions besides just the email, or was there a pattern that they followed if they've done more than one of these kind of jobs, that sort of.
Yeah.
We don't want to give ourselves away, basically.
All right. What are the questions you're going to ask him? He's completely agitated. He's kind of pulling at his restraints a little bit in his bed. He does not want to be there. He's hooked up to fluids, and there's monitors monitoring all of his vitals. He looks kind of sickly, but he still looks like a guy who's going to use all of the power possible to try and get back to what he was doing before.
Is he drugged up?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Is this him full of morphine? He's still trying to claw his way out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Well, I know one incentive we can use to get some information out of him.
Succubus?
the pit of succubus we could give him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll just take my tablet or whatever kind of handheld device I have and start scrolling through the pictures of succubus that we have in holding cells at Valyant.
Give him
Okay.
a menu to
Just
pick
kinda-
from. Yeah.
Just kind of come over and be like, hey, Joe. I hear you have a thing for the succubi.
He looks at you skeptically and pulls on his restraints, trying to get a closer look at what you're looking at.
Yeah, and so I just kind of like lean over a little bit and kind of like, her name's Candy. So, yeah, would you like to meet her?
Wasn't he already like several inches inside of her?
Yeah.
Her, yes. Yes.
He might want more, you know.
He looks at you cautiously, like he's expecting a trap. Doesn't really answer.
He doesn't answer?
Not yet. He looks like he wants to know what you want.
Tell him.
He's probably scared, just can't handle her. I understand. Not everyone virile, strong, young.
Not everyone can come back from a succubus like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand. If he wants to just, lay there pitifully.
Admittedly, that might be his thing.
Yeah. It's true. It was a BDSM club, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
We didn't really ask which side he was on.
So I can help you meet some of these ladies if you're interested.
What are you getting at? What do you want?
Oh, I just, would like to help you out if you can help me out.
Help you out how?
Well, I just, I guess it's come to our attention that you have been doing some work with some people around town, and like meeting up places, doing rituals, things like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, I guess you don't want to talk about these ladies either.
Make a roll. Roll some dice.
All right.
Let's see. It's going to be 9 difficulty level.
All right, I rolled 9, and my wit plus influence is 7.
Okay. So you got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
He says, "No, wait. Okay. What do you want to know?"
Just want to know, like, how you got in with these people and where you meet up and how it all works.
I get an email and it tells me where to go.
Who do you get the email from?
No one. It comes from no one. It just comes.
And it just shows up randomly?
Pretty much.
When did these emails start?
Well, I mean, after I joined, duh.
How did you join?
She'll kill me.
And
if I tell you.
I'm gonna find some particularly tasty succubus and just kind of go,
I love your reverse torture technique that you're using. You like loosen the screws every time you want something out of them. Like saving the best for last.
He says, she approached me at work and told me, but she'll kill me if I tell you anything.
Well, she can't get to you here.
How do you know?
Because I know where we are. Mind freak.
He just kind of shakes his head. He's trying to decide whether or not what's better, if he tells you or if he doesn't tell you.
And just keep scrolling through the pictures and going, oh yeah, I know her. She's a little lonely. She likes the Irish boys.
You're not really gonna let me do it.
Yeah,
Right?
I will.
Yeah. We're not the cops, kid. We don't care what you do with your free time.
Go crazy.
And look, if you're worried that she's going to find out what you told us, I mean, if you don't tell us anything, I could take you out on the street right now and have 10 people in your neighborhood talking about all the beans you just spilled to us.
Fine.
So the choice is clear. Her or this other woman who will kill you.
She came to me at work because I was on the employee improvement plan, and she said something about how she could give me all the succubus sex I could ever want if I just did a few things. That's all.
How did you know to look for that, even? Succubus sex.
Succubi.
Pardon me. I'm not up to date with all the new PC terms.
Well, I was attacked by one at one of the clubs I went to, and she got hauled away, but I wanted more, so I started looking for it. Fucking incredible, man.
It's pretty good.
So the other people that you see at these meetings, did you know any of them?
Anyone. They have these robes that we have to wear with these big hoods that go over, and when we're at the meetings, or we don't actually see one another.
How many were there?
I think I couldn't really count, but I mean, there's like 200 maybe.
200 geeks! God.
Oh, shit.
I was under the impression this cult was a lot smaller than that.
It's really impressive to keep an operation like this running with 200 people.
Really, I mean, I'm quite impressed.
I think 5 people to keep a secret.
There's probably a lot of people in the employee assistance program.
She has us go to these Flex events, you know, the ones that you guys go to.
Mm-hmm.
And while you guys are busy fighting whatever's happening, we walk through the crowd and we talk to people.
Talk to people?
We talk to people.
Do you hand out cards, or what do you do?
Oh, we just whisper something here, a little bit there. Really subtle.
Mm-hmm.
What sorts of things do you whisper?
Well, you know, people who are looking for magic. People who want more things like this to happen.
Right.
Well, really, who doesn't want more things like this to happen?
Right?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Mhm.
Good. Then maybe you should talk to her and join up.
Oh, I
Cool.
will talk to her.
What do you think we're trying to do?
How would we go about doing that?
She said you'd try to stop us.
No. We need more of this, because we're trying to, like, have more flux in the world. More flux means more succubus.
Well, I couldn't tell you how to get a hold of her. All I know is that she sends the emails, and I hear her voice.
Wait, you hear her voice? Literally?
Well, when we're at the rituals, yeah, I never see her face, but I hear her voice.
Okay.
It's haunting. And beautiful.
All right. So you're not like hearing it in your head right now or something?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Do we
All
have
right,
any
I'm going to
recordings?
iPhone to everybody else. Like, do we have enough information, or is there something else we need to find out?
Do we have any recordings of her voice potentially from one of the sessions I missed? Have we ever heard her speak?
It sounds like what she's doing is perception magic.
That was going to be my follow-up, was if that were the case, do you have some sort of, like, magical aura detection ability of some sort? Like, he's been magicked sometime in the last week.
Can
I don't know. Do
we'd
I?
have
It's not in the book, so that's up
I
to
don't know, do you?
we'd have her voice from when we met her in the bar and stuff. Could we have the hacker like put something together that sounds like, tell these people everything you know about me?
Oh, wow. I wasn't even getting at that. I was just trying to confirm. Okay. Yeah, that's great.
You like want me to splice?
like it.
Well,
Sort of.
he's already told you pretty much everything he knows.
Yeah.
All right,
mean-
so we've
Alright,
obviously
so we're done.
exhausted this lead.
All right, so he's done. So it's gonna be like, Doctor, get this man a succubus, and
Get this man a succubus, stat!
Just before we leave, is there any doubt at all possibly left that he is talking about is a different person than she that we're talking about? Okay, cool.
That'd be a heck of a coincidence.
Okay.
All right.
We've
I need to
established my
break
opinion.
for just a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. The thing I want to talk to. Everybody's taking a mild break. That's good. Never mind. We're still on air.
Oh, Arthur, you want to do something? Sorry, we all.
Okay. No, I understand. We'll do it when I get back. But
Now,
I think I
are we sure that this woman is Morgan Le Fay?
I don't think we have any way to confirm or deny it.
Okay.
yeah, but it's a lady who has a whole lot of magic, so it
Yeah.
might as well be.
I'm pretty sure it smells like her.
Yeah. Well, but see, the thing is, when you look through the mythology, lady with a whole lot of magic, it's about a 2/3 chance that it's my daughter.
Yep.
The only other one is Vivian.
You had one job, man. Keep her on.
No, I was actually thinking that I should be the person to contact her.
Well, if we have to storm in a door, that might be the way. But I think what we want to do now is get somebody in that Starbucks position first.
Yeah. Well, that can't be me.
Yeah, I agree.
Too well known. It might be you.
Might have to be.
Yeah. You've got the most potential tricks up your sleeve if something goes off the rails.
Why don't we just go talk to her? We know where she is.
Also a possibility. There's also a possibility that she's enchanted this Tristan Legault, and we go in there and he's like, and we unenchant him or whatever, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna throw her out a window."
That would be great, actually.
Yeah,
That would solve a lot of problems.
I say we beard Morgan in her den.
Before we do, though, could I get an appointment with Nimue?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go and say, pardon, terribly sorry about all this. You've observed Lancelot and Guinevere together, yes?
Unfortunately.
This isn't my particular area of magical expertise, but did you notice any signs of enchantment? Of charm magic?
No. This is just a continuance of a very long love affair.
Same shit, different day, people.
Same shit, different millennium.
You're fairly confident in that. And
I'm entirely confident in that.
how confident are we that she's actually Guinevere?
Entirely.
You're sure about this?
She knows things only Guinevere would know.
Gross.
Ew, not stuff like that.
Though presumably she would know that.
Ew.
All right. Well, that makes me feel both better and worse at the same time.
Well, there's nothing anybody can really do about it. They are two consenting adults.
Yeah, I was just kind of hoping it was a magical scheme of some kind.
Of course, because prophecy could never come true twice.
With him, it's always the magic.
Okay, well, that's taken care of. I don't need to get a disenchantment potion from the three witches then.
All right. You get an email back from the teenage from the maiden, and she says that she tried once to make potions, but she used 7-Up instead of moon water, and she doesn't think it actually worked right. Besides, it was a love potion, and her mom told her that maybe she should never make love potions.
I repeat, never ever make love potions. They're super evil. It's the most evil thing you can make. I would sooner you kill like 100 babies. I'm sorry, I'm actually writing up a thing for Mark on this right now, like the potions, and I have like a big paragraph about how love potions are the most evil thing you can do. How it's like a certain type of black magic and everything. Anyway.
That's hilarious.
Yet our history is replete with them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, so we want to bust in the door and not like play along with her little scam. Yes.
What? Are you talking about Morgan? You're talking about?
We're talking about Morgan now.
No,
What?
no busting in the door.
Why are you busting in all the doors? Can we just ever knock?
Yeah.
Or
What's
at least,
knocking?
or at least let me go talk to her before we bust indoors.
I don't hold with this modern knocking custom.
If that's how we want to play it, I'm cool with that too.
That's how I want to play it.
What do other people think?
Well, technically she is your kid, Gorloy, so I figure we should take your lead on it.
All right.
I think we should send her a singing telegram.
Ooh, can we do that?
For Lloyd, I'm going to get you a straw hat.
I look terrible in straw hats.
No, you're going to be in the whole Sudsucker thing. It's going to look great.
Okay, Gorloy, what's the plan?
I want you guys to be nearby in case things go wrong, but let me go in and talk to her alone.
In case things go wrong. Oh, you are funny.
How long do you need?
You're sleeping with this pig. We're just holding the legs.
That's disgusting.
The,
I'm sorry, has no one heard that phrase before?
Nope.
nope.
That reminds me of these Texas
I
slang.
think that's about your social circles there, dude.
Well, we can monitor the conversation,
Yeah.
can't we?
I'm
Yeah.
worried about magic. I need a number of minutes.
Well, what if we just, if he pick a word and if he says it,
Yeah.
we'll come rushing in or something?
I figure it's not going to
That
take.
summarizes
It's not
my
going to take
feelings.
much more than 60 seconds for it to fall apart. So
All right, you have 60 seconds.
Your secret phrase to let us know you're in trouble is Irish tanning bed.
Very unlikely to come up with that.
Phrase no one would use.
we will also accept help and please God no.
I think if things go wrong, it should be fairly obvious pretty quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we go there.
Okay.
We want to take Galahad with us.
Only if you can keep a leash on her.
So no.
I'm not gonna do anything. I still have an empty foot.
I'll leave that up to her. Does she want to come with us? Does she want to stay at Valyant, or does she want to go see her dad?
Valyant. She's pissed off at her father, so
Okay.
whatever gets her closer to her father is where she wants to be.
All right.
Well, does she want to go with us, or did she just want to go to the cabin then?
I suppose she could just go to the cabin. Are you guys planning on going to the cabin?
Yeah, let's send her to the cabin as a cock block.
All right. So Galahad takes off on her white motorcycle.
Which is totally not a metaphor for a horse.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to work in a jousting scene with motorcycles.
Oh,
No.
Knight Rider.
Tilting. If you're on horseback, it's tilting. Jousting was on foot.
Okay, whatever. It's gonna happen. We'll find a way. There will be vehicular combat.
I've got a van.
Gonna need a really long spear.
Yeah. Or like, you know, what are those things that you spin around?
Flail.
Yeah, like a flail.
Vehicle-mounted lance.
Yeah.
I was really tempted just now to say telephone headset. Those things you just spin around.
Microphone.
All
All right.
We're at her place. I take it as an
Yeah, so she's at Tristan's at his penthouse. So you'll have to actually sign in
right.
in order to get past security to go up, and then
I'll sign in and I'll use my regular ID and everything.
Oh, never mind.
Do we have like floor plans of the building and stuff? I mean, is there another way in for the rest of us, or?
Well, I was just about to say, when I saw her go in the other day, or yesterday, or whatever the time is in game, I saw her put in a key code, but was that just for that specific apartment, or was it a key code for the building?
the key code is for that specific apartment.
Oh, drat.
But it was for the elevator. So she was like in the elevator, I think, and well, no, maybe not, but let's say she was. She was in the elevator when she put it in there. So it's like you go to get to a penthouse. That's what you need is some form of.
Gotcha.
And this is probably biometric as well. On top. It is biometric on top of that.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me that because I was really pissed off because biometrics are terrible.
Right, exactly. But
Hack those.
How close is his penthouse to the roof?
Yeah.
it's
Penthouse is usually the top floor.
the top floor.
Can we get to the roof?
Not well. There's stairs and there's elevators.
Does Valyant have an aircraft they can use?
No. No.
No, Lancelot, yes, but Lancelot would have to give approval, and he is currently off the grid.
Is there a window washing unit we can hijack?
Ooh.
Can we just climb up the stairs? Are we making this way more complicated than it needs to be?
Complicated or awesome?
Is there active security, like people, persons?
You're guessing. I mean, how would you know?
I don't know.
There's somebody at the front. There's definitely, there's a doorman, and there's somebody at the front desk, at the security desk, that is, checking everybody as they come in.
Well, if we're sticking
It's
up
a very expensive and posh place, so it's not all automated. There's actual people. There's concierge.
Is this in Valyant territory?
No,
Okay.
this is in Globex territory.
I assumed that maybe like this security is like what I do,
Yeah,
so
and
I
it's-
thought
and
maybe
it's-
I might be able to pick up patrols or figure out the safest entrance for us to take.
What you know is that it's a Globex Corporation building, and they house a lot of their executives here. And since Globex does a lot of military contracting and has the heaviest security in the world, basically,
Mhm.
it's very likely to be heavily guarded.
And may I roll a crime check to find the safest entrance for us, or the least heavily guarded entrance for us?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Mother May.
I'm going to, before we leave, get some rope and a pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
I have a plan.
Oh, I've played Metal Gear Solid. I know what you're doing. Shit. We've got an 8 total. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I get to add the stat too. What is the stat?
No, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I meant I don't know what that I don't know what the digit is.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's actually 0 because I took a whole lot of points and things in it. There it is. On my character sheet, it's a 2. So that's 8, 9, 10.
The best way you think to get in would be through the service entrance in the garage, and using the service elevator. You could get to the garden on the roof, or you could get to the garden on the roof, but the actual penthouse takes up the entire floor, and the elevator goes right to the penthouse. So you would be vulnerable almost as soon as if you tried to go to the penthouse itself. So there's like no hallway for you to hang out in or anything.
So we would hang out in the garden, though, right? If the garden's the roof, we could hang out there and then just have to go down one floor to get into the penthouse.
Right, and the garden is part of the penthouse, so there's an entrance to it from the garden.
Okay. Biometrics on the service elevator?
Yeah, so there's...
All right, guys, find me a way where I don't have to knock out some poor minimum... Oh, I'm sorry, you were talking. I think you cut. What's that?
Go ahead.
Okay, find me some way where I don't have to knock out a minimum wage employee, please. his badge and biometrics.
Can we
Okay,
magically
can I
clone one?
Well,
Get
can
a
I see?
packet?
Can I see if I know anybody who works for the gardening company?
Please. Please do.
Yes,
In my network?
go ahead.
Do I roll that?
What should we do for that?
I have a network of 4.
Yeah, but so the rules are kind of like you're supposed to stipulate who is in that network, and we haven't been using it that way. So let's use it like a normal stat. So it's 4 plus whatever you roll for your flux dice.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled double 6s.
Ooh,
Do I roll again?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. So rare that I get doubles.
Huh.
Oh, and then I got double 5s.
Okay, so that's 22 plus 4, so that's 26?
Yeah, plus 7 and my network of 4.
Oh man, you totally know.
Oh, I have stock in the company!
One of them gave you a kidney once.
No, I gave him one of my kidneys.
You exchanged kidneys to be closer.
Totally kidney brothers.
We were going to have this reality show called Kidney Bros.
I was going to suggest something sexual, but that's way more intimate.
What would you like to do with what you know?
I would like to get everybody who's not Gorloy a gardening outfit. And just, yeah,
And bring along-
mustaches, hats, the whole shebang. And, you know, it's time to, you know, do the spring planting or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
How
do
are
it
you
during the
gonna get
day so that it's not like really fucking suspicious.
You always do it at night
Yeah.
so that it'll be nice in the morning when people come out.
Actually, that's a really good point. A lot of that stuff does get done in the middle of the night.
Okay, so your friend is able to get you temporary passes that allow you to get into the elevator and bypass the biometrics. And after everybody gets dressed up in their gardener outfits, which you all look smashing in, you're able to go all the way to the garden. Meanwhile, Gorloy is once you go in and you check in, and they call up to make sure that it's okay, and it comes back as being cleared for you to actually head in.
Okay.
You head into the elevator. The doorman hits the penthouse button for you, and then it sends its way up to the penthouse.
Okay.
When it opens up, you see the Melinda Murphy, the woman that you saw at the bar earlier, standing there and waiting for you with a smirk on her face.
Gorlois
Which version of her
says-
is it?
What?
Which version of her is it?
It's her. She looks like she's a nice looking Asian girl.
Okay, so the second one.
Yeah. It's the actual size rather
Her
than
actual
the-
self, yeah.
We think she could have had two.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be illusions within illusions.
So Gorlois stands there, hands in his pockets, says just one word. He says, "Wagon," which is Cornish for darling or sweetie. Exactly the way he said it when she was a child.
Okay.
Oh, you know you never said that to her when she was a child. Why do you think she grew up so crazy?
Because the father she loved and loved her was brutally murdered, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, that may have had something to do
her carefully maintained smirk breaks for a moment, and she just kind of rolls her eyes and shakes her head to try and push off the little emotional outburst she almost just had. And she turns around and she says, "Yes, yes, come in, come in."
He walks in. We never had much time together.
Yes.
How much do you remember?
I remember everything. I remember more than you do. I remember more than any of you do.
Probably do. I don't have that much to remember. I was off the.
I'm
I
so
was out of
sorry.
it pretty early.
Actually, I'm rather surprised to see you here, all things considered.
Why? Why wouldn't I want to see my daughter?
Well, you know, I'm certain you've done your research, and you know what I became.
Yeah, I know what they made you.
Maybe there's hope for you yet.
I think there's hope for both of us.
She walks over and pours a couple of glasses of wine.
Okay.
And she says, possibly. Why are you here?
There's a truth serum in that wine.
Or love potion.
I'm here because I think we can work together.
Well, I agree. I think we can.
I don't think that we need to destroy the world.
I'm not interested in destroying the world. I don't know who gave you that impression.
Well, doesn't look like the most responsible course of action that I've seen so far. But hey, changed my mind.
There's more to it than you can possibly understand.
I don't know. I've seen a lot since I've been here. I think I can understand a lot. I've heard this big thing about this dragon. That's
Yes, the dragon.
right. Dragons, my memory is pretty straightforward about what dragons do to human beings.
What do you know about the end of Arthur's reign?
Most of that is what I read in the stories, and then a lot of them are pretty contradictory. There's a bunch of different stories, and then I've got what Lancelot and his lot tell me is actually what happened. Why don't you tell me your version?
Do you want to invite them in? I don't like them skulking around up in my garden.
We're pruning the trees rather viciously.
Trying to turn a bush into a rabbit.
What do you think, guys? You want to come inside?
No, I like it out here.
Is there one actual gardener with us who's just super confused?
Yeah.
I vote for going inside. I'm allergic to all of this greenery.
All right.
I was really looking forward to throwing a grenade through a window, but fine.
Mr.
It was going to be
60
awesome.
seconds
I was going to repel in. I had like a catchphrase I was working on.
Spoon!
Actually, Arthur, do you want to check out her garden to see if there's any like magical plants there or things that you can use in potions?
Well, I mostly use things that are illegal and slightly radioactive.
or else radioactive and slightly illegal.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll check it out.
It's a fairly standard garden. There's a little like greenhouse area that there's some plants that may or may not be magical in nature being grown.
All right, I'll grab a handful of something that looks weird.
You pull up a mandrake root.
Oh no.
And
Does
you
it scream?
start screaming.
That scream kills people, you know.
Can I get like a little bitty sock to put in its mouth?
No, because it doesn't actually have a mouth that it's screaming out of. It's just screaming. You can stuff it back in the soil real quick.
Okay, I'll stuff it back in the soil real quick.
Okay, it shuts up when you do that. And meanwhile, Gorloy, down where you are, Morgana just sighs and says, "Could you please just come in? The doors are unlocked."
Yeah.
I go in.
I'm coming in.
I will leave her weird garden alone for now.
And when they come in, I turn off my communication gear.
All right. She takes out more glasses and pours more wine.
I drink none of it.
I just kind of pretend like I'm drinking it.
I drink it.
I will drink a huge glass of it.
All right, we've got the whole Goldilocks family of bears here.
She says, now that you're all here.
So tell me your side of things. Because all I know is what Lancelot tells me, and his lot was the one that killed me. So.
Hey, that was long before any of us were involved in things.
Well.
Arthur and I reconciled very shortly before his death. I was the one who took him to Avalon, where he would rest.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one who's been watching over him for a very long while. I don't want him to not come back. The only way for magic to actually return, and I've been searching high and low for a very long time, mind you. I've been here far longer than any of you. Is to bring Arthur back.
Bring him back, not wait for him.
Well, you see, I tried to force it. I spent hundreds of years trying to force it, and it wouldn't happen and it wouldn't work. And then just recently, everybody started popping up. Old people became reincarnated in new ones. The signs, the visions started to appear, letting me know that this is the time, that it's now.
Uh-huh.
So I've been searching for a way to find Arthur.
Okay.
The dragon.
Aha!
Okay.
In order for the dragon to have been banished from this world, it had to be banished to another world. Arthur's body is currently in another world. How do you think we're going to get to it?
I don't know. You used to live there.
Oh, good grief.
So you're saying when the dragon comes here, it will open the way for you to go there and retrieve it.
Well, somebody has to take care of the dragon problem, yes, but yes, that's the plan.
So
Okay.
is your plan to go there, or is your plan to make there come here?
Well, it's both, really.
Well, see, there's the bit of the problem. Because there should be no problem with a group of intrepid adventurers, such as ourselves, going through that portal and muddling around and looking as best we can.
I
But
would
to
do so
bring the
happily.
dragon into this world at this level of magic is going to disrupt a great many things. More specifically, it's going to kill a lot of people for no particular reason. And the gods aren't a big fan of that.
I
God.
really think it depends on the gods, but okay.
Some of them are.
Some of them are really into it.
No, I don't want the dragon to hurt anybody.
Okay.
If we can take care of it in that realm, then that's fine. But here's the thing that's going to happen is when Arthur returns, magic is going to return to the world.
It hasn't already?
It has in bits and pieces.
All right.
We're disconnected. There's a wall that's been placed between us and our ability to actually connect with magic. When your little sorcerer dude here does what he does, he has momentary brief windows that open up into that world.
This will be the enchantment of the world.
That seemed, now correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how things were back before all of this started.
In a sense, yes. But the veil between the worlds, the mists that keep us from one another, that we used in Avalon, that kept us out of the real world, all of these things, because of Arthur's death, they hardened up. They became stronger. That's how the world became a world without magic.
Right.
He speaks of the tyranny of natural law.
If we take down that barrier, then the world becomes as it is meant to be. And magic will be alive and around, but people will learn to adapt. They're smart, sort of, sometimes.
So, in order for this to happen, it only needs for Arthur to come back. It doesn't need for any of the other parts
Well,
to have occurred, like him and Guinevere being together or anything like that.
she sighs heavily. There is a... How loyal are you all to your CEO?
Merlin killed me.
You had it coming.
I know.
Because I was in the way.
You were in the way.
Let's put it this way, I don't care much for their ethics.
Let's see. How do I put this? All right. If Arthur were to return, whether or not he chose to reignite his relationship with Guinevere, there would be considerable tension between Lancelot and Arthur.
Obviously.
I can imagine.
So, Lancelot could take the easy way out, which is to make sure you don't actually go searching for Arthur. Doing things like posting guards at the points where the dragon wards are set up so that we can never unlock them. I don't know if Lancelot is on your side, is what I'm telling you.
Right. Get that. My original query, though.
I don't know what has to be replayed again.
And the other thing is, obviously,
There's one thing.
if Arthur just has to come back, if he comes back and then is almost immediately killed by Lancelot as they duel over Guinevere, is that going to then turn everything back? Or is the enchantment of the world permanent once Arthur is here, or is it not tied to him? Is it just the action of him returning?
I honestly don't know the answer to any of those questions.
Fabulous.
I would suspect the slaying of the Pendragon will mean the return of the veil.
That's
Well,
what I would
likely-
presume, but I don't know how any of this works, so...
So who's this Tristan dude?
Oh, he's just somebody who has a penthouse that I like to use.
Tristan or Tristan?
Trim.
Tristram.
What is
Tristram.
his name?
Legault.
The goal.
We're very familiar with that name, right?
goal.
Wasn't Tristram the second greatest of King Arthur's knights?
He was the strongest of the knights. Tristan and Isolde.
It's not.
Was
It was Tristan and Isolde, I
Before it
thought.
was a Arthurian.
Yeah. But it's not that.
No.
Okay.
I only know
Something
this.
more, Morgana says. Something that I might have left out.
Okay.
We will be able to find Arthur's body, but in order to actually bring him back to life, we need the Grail.
Nope. 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 No Grail. The
It's
Grail
not
is...
the thing that can bring him back.
Go ahead.
It's the only thing that can bring him back.
Liar!
You think you know something, but you don't. Trust me.
Yes.
Shh.
You don't know of the Cauldron of Life. The let me see if I can figure out the Welsh for it. Hold on. The Peridotani.
The what?
The Peridotani. The Cauldron of Infinite Life.
Uh-huh. And then you know where this cauldron is located?
No! You have to go on a quest for it. Like it were a Grail, but better.
And how is this better? We know where the Grail is.
Well,
Wait a
the way-
minute, isn't that the cauldron that brings everybody back as zombies?
No, it brings everybody back as a smartass.
Oh, so you've used it already.
The Grail is a testament to monotheism. It is the thing that destroyed the Veil, not the death of the Pendragon. When that's how they defeated the Wasteland. The Wasteland was ended not because everything was cured by the Grail, but because magic was separated from the world, and so the wound in the world of magic was no longer able to affect the real world. That was not the destiny that Arthur was supposed to have. He was supposed to have found the cauldron. The cauldron can bring people back to life, but it restores magic. It actually heals the world. So the question is, do you want to find the Grail, a testament to monotheism and of a desert water god who has nothing in common with us at all, or do you want to find the Grail of Arthur's people, of whom he is the king?
Gorlois just smiles. This is exactly what he wanted to happen.
Let me put it a different way. Whose
Who
magic
are you?
do you trust more? Yours and Merlin's, or do you trust that of the Judaic god of a place you've never been?
I don't think she trusts Merlin at all.
Well, you should.
I trust Merlin.
So that's what we have to find, not the Grail. The Grail will destroy magic and bring about the tyranny you seek to end.
Agreed. Do you know where this cauldron is?
Not a clue.
All right, then
But we can find it.
how are you going to find it?
I was going to say, I'm not sure we can.
Well, the first thing we need to do is seek it.
What, do we just get in a car and drive? Do we just say, we are now seeking the cauldron and just drive in a direction? What does this involve?
Well, there are lots of ideas, but the first of which is we need to.
It worked for
Return of
Galahad
Galahad
seeking the
probably means
Grail.
the return of the Wasteland. which means we need to find whatever this, if there is a Fisher King and indeed a wasteland returning.
You've
That would
already
be our
seen part of the wasteland. You were in it when you went into my tower.
What's that?
You've already seen part of the wasteland. You were in it when you went into my tower.
Yes. So if we do that and we seek through there, the same way they sought the Grail, we walk around through the mystical places of the universe, and we also, let's be frank, the technical world has invaded a lot of what we do as well, as you well saw. So we have what is, if I might say so ourselves, a pretty badass hacker who can start to see where those places intersect. So we have her look through the technical sides, we look through the magical sides, and everybody else goes for Starbucks.
And
Either way.
And there are always seers and prophetesses in the stories. We've met some.
This is so.
Is that really what they were?
I think we have. I know what I saw when I was there.
But the first step on
Wait,
this process,
what did you see?
we saw the dragon.
You're talking about the very first episode we played. I have no idea what I saw.
More now.
There's some prophetic shit going on.
I say inside of which is called a dragon on a lake.
I thought that was just an elaborate painting.
No.
No, that was the cover of a 70s rock album.
Then they turned on a black light and everybody was like, whoa!
So, but the first thing we're going to need to do is stop blowing stuff up. I can't emphasize how important it is that it's really going to get in our way if we have all of Valyant and all of, especially Mordred's people, drawn to this. Mordred is an abomination bastard unto the god.
Yeah, watch how you talk about my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to ask. Is he working with you on this? We've had a number of odd encounters, and what's his deal with your
He saw
plan?
me for the first time when you saw me.
Okay, so you haven't been working with him at all.
Good.
No. No.
Mordred wants to bring about order.
Yes.
And so continuing to blow stuff up and causing chaos, just general in the physical world, is going to draw him to this problem. And we don't need his attention. If he finds the cauldron or even knows we're on it, he'll try and destroy it.
You realize that if we stop blowing stuff up, that'll draw his attention, right?
So we need to blow up some stuff.
We need a moderate campaign of stuff blowing up.
There needs to be a moderate amount of explosions.
Maybe he'll just get really into Warcraft or something. I don't know. But no more blowing stuff up. It's not productive. It's not helpful.
I haven't blown anything up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you sent those cultists to release the were-rats.
No, that just happened.
Wait a minute. It just happened. They were your cultists, yes?
Well, yes, they were sent to destroy the ward so that they could begin opening the portal. However, the flux event that happened was not expected. As a result, it was next.
We're going to put a pin in opening portals for now, though. Yes?
You're not going to speak to me that way.
I was gonna say
Okay.
you might
Yeah.
not want to order her around.
Yeah, you
Okay.
might want to turn that
was
down.
more of a question. That was not. That was an inflection there at the end.
The portal must be open in order for us to reach the dragon. If you pledge to help me instead of Lancelot, well, we can make that happen. However it needs it to happen.
Are you
Not
offering us a job?
Oh, definitely. Why do you think I invited you in? Gave you wine. I'm not your enemy.
Yes. I'm not.
I think this is
I'm
a
not going to
reasonable
pledge
way
myself to your
to
service. I will pledge myself to the service of Arthur and to ending the physical tyranny of the universe.
That's good enough.
But
And I think that's a reasonable way to pursue that goal, which I think is a lot better than the stupid grail.
Yes. You are a lady, and I'm just some guy. So I owe you deference, and we have matching goals. But
Yes.
I will not stay so far that I am your man. Does that seem reasonable?
I only want you to be Arthur's.
Done and done.
Good.
Okay, but so question.
Who's going to tell Galahad you guys decided to work for Morgana?
Would you be amenable to not opening any more portals for now?
We can talk about the plan if seeking the cauldron is... I'll give you an amount of time to seek the cauldron, and then we have to go after the Grail.
It took forever to find the Grail. I can't imagine it'd be quick to find the cauldron.
That's fair. Year and a day?
You have the person who last saw the Grail. You have the person who knows where the Grail is.
This is true. So you'll give us an amount of time to find the cauldron first, yes?
Correct.
500 years.
Time is fluid there.
While I have no problem giving you that amount of time, I do believe that something else will happen. The flux events that are occurring are becoming more rapid and larger. Something more is going to happen, and it's not going to be nice. You don't have a lot of time.
So year and a day?
You don't have a lot of time.
But you must grant that during these flux events that are happening, that Arthur could come back.
No.
That is a possibility, isn't it?
Anything is technically possible.
But she doesn't want to count on it.
I had a vision of doom, of the waterways running with blood, of molten hot lava everywhere, of destroyed buildings, of the mega corporations being pitted against one another like kingdoms of old.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
That sounds familiar. Others have had this vision as well.
Yeah.
Well, good, then. We're on the same page. That vision comes from the flux events happening. If they are uncontrolled, if we don't find a way to either open or close that connection, it's going to happen. And I can't tell you when it's going to happen. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen 5 years from now. It could happen 500 years from now.
So you can't give us a definite time.
What do I look like? The one who causes it? No, I can't. I have not had that prophecy yet.
All right. Will you pledge to tell us before you start any new plans to open up these portals? Tell us when our time is up.
Of course. If you are aiding my seek to return Arthur to this world, I'll act as your partner in all ways. I won't keep things from you.
That sounds fair. What does everyone else think?
What's your plan after Arthur gets back? Where do you see yourself?
I don't know. We'll find out then.
I'm on board with it.
As long as there's cool tech and a paycheck, I'm in.
She walks over Gawain and puts a hand on his shoulder and she says, I happen to know that your mother is returning.
Say what now?
Your mother, my sister.
Really?
Indeed, yes. It is a vision that I had.
All right. All right, I'm in.
Good. So that's settled now.
Not quite.
Oh, dear.
I'm not fighting Lancelot, though.
Now, Lancelot.
Valyant and Lancelot has my oath, at least, and perhaps yours as
I will
well.
remind you, Sir Knight, that the first oath you gave was to Arthur, not Lancelot.
Indeed. And I seek the same thing you do. The world was a more interesting place when magic was here.
Well then.
But we must first bring Lancelot into the light with us, or seek to be removed from our oath before going against his
How about
wishes.
then we kill Guinevere?
That would not be knightly.
Well then I'll do it.
It would not be knightly of me to allow you to do so, now that you have said it.
She's a pain in the ass.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
And the Guinevere is another thing entirely.
Here's the thing, though, that while Guinevere and Lancelot are engaged the way they are, they're not meddling in the rest of what we're doing.
And when Arthur returns, he has a greater duty than to be with someone he used to like. He has an obligation to find a queen. And if she's otherwise engaged, then she's not on the table. Just because they used to go out doesn't mean they can't still talk. But
Technically, if they're the same people, they're still married.
nope. They pledged until they died. And they died.
Right.
Till death
Well,
do us
according
they
to all
died.
this, Arthur
They're hard.
didn't. His pledge is still good. He was just resting.
Pining for the fjords.
The dead. I just don't like Guinevere. Morgana points out.
None of us like Guinevere.
Lancelot apparently does.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's
Well, we
no
don't like him either.
Being kind of a bad person isn't a capital offense. If it was, you would have thrown me out the window when I walked in.
Don't think we're not going to at some point.
It's probably how I'll die.
Killing principals in Valyant is probably on the same order as opening up portals. We need to hold off on that, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
The important thing is being able to focus our efforts on finding the cauldron.
Yeah.
Let's put it.
What are you going to do about Lancelot then?
We should all
go-
tender our resignations.
We gotta tell him. We gotta tell him.
You can't tell him. If you tell him, he will attempt to stop you.
Let's tell it to Nimue and Merlin first.
Oh, dear.
They know more about magic than I do, and get their take on it. Then, based on what they recommend, we can either go to Lancelot and he will defer to their magical knowledge, or they can tell us something that we may not know. Does that sound amenable?
Oh.
You said you trusted Merlin, so trust him in this.
Okay.
I don't trust Merlin.
I have a feeling that
Good.
it is likely that if we do not tell Lancelot, Lancelot will find out anyway, and the fact that we're hiding it from him would make it much more likely that he would come at us hard,
Why don't
feeling that we had betrayed him.
Why don't we just tell Valyant and Lancelot that we have an excellent opportunity for corporate espionage?
I think we should play this above board, because as he said, while I'm perfectly fine with it, that's not knightly. You all took oaths to, I don't know, truth, justice, and whatever. But so there is something to be said about playing this above board. And so I think what needs to be done is we tell Nimue, we tell Merlin, and then based on their recommendation, they tell Lancelot. If Lancelot says no under no circumstances, then we owe it to him to tender a resignation or to convince him of the rightfulness of this. Am I wrong in that?
Neither Nimue nor Merlin are knights themselves. This is a matter for knights to decide on their own conscience what is the right course of action. For me, I don't believe I can continue to work for Valyant while pursuing this other agenda.
Which is why I think we should we should bring it to them first. Have them bring it to Lancelot and see if this is still something they want to pursue, and then still see if this is something we want to pursue.
Take counsel while you will.
So we play this entirely above board.
Above board.
I think going through intermediaries isn't exactly playing it above board. I mean, unless you're a coward, but.
Well, not intermediaries.
So.
They're not intermediaries. They're also our superiors. No,
actually, they're not. They're in no way, shape, or form our superiors. They might be your bosses, but they're not our superiors. We don't owe allegiance to them the way that we do to Lancelot or to Arthur. And first duty is to our king, so... Anyway.
Oh, God.
You guys can do whatever you want. I'm going to go tell Lancelot, so... He's been my best friend for as long as I can remember. Anyway.
You're just gonna up and tell him?
Yep. I'm just gonna up and tell him.
Kill me.
What?
He will try to kill me.
I won't let him kill you.
I'll stay with you. He won't kill you.
I will accompany you, Gawain. There is nothing in our oaths that say we must reveal your location.
No, there is nothing in our oaths.
Especially if doing so would put you in danger.
Actually, we wouldn't be violating the Knight's Code to...
Oh no, the perfect plan! Are you still there?
Chris?
Yo.
Doria?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we missed the last half of it.
Yeah, no, the last part, your voice just kind of stopped in the middle of what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be violating the Knight's Code to either, take another job or just, work with...
Act to protect the lady.
Yeah, just, she asked us for her service. That's totally within the Knight's Code.
Just like the old days.
This sounds awfully familiar to how the schism erupted in the last time around.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be great.
And I believe Gawain and I might be particularly sensitive to this because we both lost our lives the last time.
Yep.
No, I'm with you. If Lancelot needs to be told, I will break it to the magicians. And if you would feel safer with Warlaw keeping you here, I can also say I'm not going to let someone just flat out murder you. If anyone's going to kill you, I will sacrifice you to one of the Welsh sea gods.
That's generous.
It is.
You do what you must.
Cornish,
all right.
Anyway.
To the white van!
Don't understand why it has to be so complicated, but...
We're knights. Everything we do is complicated.
I gather that. You're terribly annoying.
It's honor and stuff. For some reason, you gotta do the right thing when somebody hands you a sword. I don't know what's up with that.
Over in the left column, we're human beings, and over in the right column, we've got fucking rules.
Alright, so she'll hang out with Dad.
I have to hang back when everyone else leaves for a second.
Okay.
Because I took some favors from Morgana when we were in her tower in the Wasteland, and I think I should probably return those to her.
No.
And let her know. And let her know that always in the past did I admire her beauty from afar, and that if she ever seeks a companion who would return her considerations, unlike those she has considered in the past, I would happily stand by her side were there no other oaths in the way of them.
Oh, really?
I'm not waiting for a response.
Okay, good. I'm speechless.
He comes out, I'm just like, seriously? Still?
And then I think that's the first time I get my I'll get a flex point for that one.
Yeah, you got Romeo. Casanova. Wait. Yeah, something like that.
I'm trying to think of a better example. It's not a Casanova. He's like, who was the guy in Cyrano de Bergerac who wasn't Cyrano de Bergerac?
I have no idea.
Shit.
You're thinking of Huck Finn. Huck Finn was not Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah, he's like the dude if he didn't have the poet backing him up.
Well.
Just so we're clear, Huckleberry Finn is not in Cyrano de Bergerac.
Are you sure? It sounds right.
Feels like a fit.
There's a certain poetry to the racial epithets he throws around.
Oh my god. All right. So who's going where?
I'm going to see Lancelot.
The rest of you you're going back to.
No one's coming with me.
Yep.
I'm going to Valyant. I think at least two of our nights we're going to see Lancelot. I don't know what Celia is doing, and I don't know what Dagonet is doing.
Yeah, I think I have to go, like, turn in my resignation, too.
I'm not turning in my resignation. I'm just telling him what's up.
So all of the knights are gonna go and do the appropriate knightly thing, except for Gorloy, who's gonna hang back and hang out with his daughter.
Right.
And the hacker and the wizard are going to go back and talk to the magical people. So you guys are all splitting into classes, basically.
Yes.
Yeah,
Knights
pretty much.
are gonna go do their thing, and then the knights are gonna go do their thing. Okay. Let's start with where should we start?
Well,
Not
I
nice.
actually have got a scene I'd like to play with Morgan.
Okay, let's do that first.
So I leave and then you go back inside.
I don't want you dating that bozo.
Well, yeah, he actually wouldn't. You wouldn't know anything about that. You'd be like, "Wait a minute, what the hell?"
Why are you hitting on my daughter? It must be terribly confusing for poor Gorloy.
I know, gods.
All right.
So far below our station too.
Everybody leaving behind just Gorloy and Morgan.
So he finally takes a sip of this wine that's been passed around, and says, after everybody's gone, "Has there been any sign of your mother?"
No. I don't expect there will be.
No. Why
I'm
not?
sorry.
He does not look happy with this answer.
I don't think you would want it.
It wasn't her fault.
Oh, but she loved Uther deeply.
He deceived her.
Nevertheless.
I don't believe it. I can't believe it.
She would break your heart again.
Well, then it's mine to break.
Well, I can't control destiny.
But you haven't. I trust you to be honest with me that you haven't seen her. I'm glad I found you. How about Morgoth? Your sister.
I've seen her return, but she hasn't yet.
Oh, you've foreseen her, but she hasn't yet.
Right.
Okay. Any clues as to where she might be? When might show up?
The vision that I had wasn't very specific.
Okay. Please let me know if you see any more.
I will.
Okay. That's all the scene I wanted.
Okay.
Peace.
She's a little taken back. It was that easy. It's like, wait, what? Okay.
That's what trust looks like. I'm not used to it.
Very confused. Like, wow. Okay. You all didn't try to
Well,
kill
see,
her.
everybody else has got this image of her, of this scheming sorceress. He's got this image of this 6-year-old girl.
Who's also a scheming sorceress.
Some of us have an image of a scheming sorceress who's also a babe.
She's a complicated figure.
Okay.
Surprised you didn't ask her if Uther's coming back.
So are you going to have to give Gorloy like a bunch of cattle?
Hopefully that doesn't come back with magic.
Cattle?
Where would he put him? In his
Dowries.
Okay.
So the precedent for being released from knighthood is not encouraging. I'm looking into it right now.
No.
According to Don Quixote, which is one of the best sources I've got, cannot be released from an engagement unless the matter itself should be whole. So.
But you're not being released from knighthood.
All right.
That's the thing. It's because our duty is to our king, to Arthur. So that's the ultimate thing. We're not actually. It's not like we're vassals of Lancelot's.
We're just gonna go there and rules lawyer him a little bit.
We're not rules lawyering him. We're just letting him know what's happening so that he's not taken aback too much. He's our friend.
Ooh,
Or he's my friend anyway.
PowerPoint presentation.
I can do that.
I mean
there's also a great likelihood
that
that he's not even going to care because, he's going to be too involved.
Look at this spreadsheet.
None of you have an elevator pitch?
Are you going to warn Galahad that you guys are coming, or are you just going to show up?
Oh, God.
Probably best to just show up.
I was going to say, I think it's best if we just show up.
I thought Galahad was in the cabin sitting between Lancelot and Guinevere.
Nice.
I assumed that we'd arrived to the smoking ruin of a cabin. Everyone's sitting upset.
Just lights any building they're in on fire.
Actually, I got an idea. Use one of my special dice. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so when you pull up to the, I'm gonna do the cabin first, then we'll come back to Merlin and Nimue. When you guys pull up to the cabin, I assume somebody has the van and somebody else has another vehicle of some sort.
I have a car. We can use that.
All right.
We Ubered it.
Yeah.
Just so long as your swords don't poke the interior.
Take the night bus.
You see Galahad's Galahad's motorcycle parked next to Lancelot's high-end sedan, and it's a very nice looking kind of campground resort kind of area with a really nice, beautiful cabin that's overlooking a lake. It's very peaceful. Except for the sounds that are coming from inside, which is a lot of with a female voice and a male voice right back, and the female voice is not Guinevere, it is Galahad.
Do we hear
You hear things getting thrown around as you get to the door.
All right.
Something hits the door rather hard.
I knock. Since that's what people do now.
You hear from just on the other side of the door, Lancelot say, "You gonna let me go so I can answer the door now?"
Oh, this is great.
He turns around and he opens the door to see everybody just kind of standing there waiting. And Galahad's just like not too far off. You can see her in the door frame with just a brutal look on her face, like she was just getting ready to give a good beat down. Her sword is still sheathed, however.
Is his.
Yes. And both of them just kind of stop when they see everybody at the door. And she says, "What the hell?"
Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt. We need to talk.
We need to get I'm whispering it. We need to get Galahad out of here.
Yeah. Galahad, give us a moment. We just need to borrow Lancelot for a sec.
What?
Just for a sec. He just be like, step out here. Come on.
We're not going to sleep with him.
No, you are not walking away from me. I am involved in this conversation.
You know what? Sure.
All right, family meeting.
This is going to be great. Yes. However, you should come out here where there are fewer things for you to throw.
He's just going to get some damn shepherd play.
So glad I'm not there.
All right.
Nights off.
All right, you get everybody out in the lawn.
Okay.
Guinevere peeks through one of the windows.
Yeah, you go back inside. All right. Lancelot. We've known each other a very long time. And, you know, we're bringing Arthur back.
Yes.
Yes, specifically. We're taking an active part in the resurrection.
Well, that's our goal here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Gawain, can I ask Lancelot a question before we go any further?
Go ahead.
Lancelot, if we had to engage in knightly but unsavory behavior to bring Arthur back, would you want to know the details of that?
Ooh, nice.
He pauses for a long moment. He said, "If you're doing anything that involves returning Arthur, I need to know about it immediately."
All right.
Okay.
It's all you, old friend.
So that's where you hand it off to me. Yeah, I love hanging with you, man. All right, so you're not going to like this one bit. Not exactly my first choice either, but it seems to be the best way for us to get going on this. We're working with Morgan Le Fay.
Band-Aid.
Galahad says, "Are you crazy? What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well, she seems different now.
She has a plan. It's a good plan. It's a workable plan.
What kind of plan?
Kind of plan to bring Arthur back. She knows where he is.
Well, why would I don't understand. I mean, why wouldn't, she says, looking at Lancelot, why wouldn't you want them to pursue this if we are indeed here to bring Arthur back? And he kind of walks away and just kind of sighs heavily, rubs his eyes, temple.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. I walk over and I put my arm around his shoulders and like, yeah, I know.
I can't do it. I can't let you bring him back.
Why?
I just can't.
I mean, I think I know why. We all actually know why.
God, everybody on the face of the planet knows why, Galahad says.
Yeah.
The foundation of the Western romantic tradition. Pretty well known.
But Lancelot, are you really, again, going to choose yourself over your honor? Over your king, knowing what happened last time, knowing what it did to you and me?
I should make you roll something. No, I think you're playing too well to roll. That's. He looks a little unsure. Then he finally sighs heavily. How do you know you can trust her? How do you know she's not just trying to get you to bring back the dragon or something? He says, turning around to join everybody again.
Well, we're actually going with an amended version of her plan.
What was her plan exactly? Galahad asks. Before you get to the amended version? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. Which is why we're not doing that.
Jesus Christ, precisely!
That's the problem.
So, there's another option, then.
Yes, the Père de Dani.
Well, that's good, because I'm no longer a virgin.
Yeah, well, we knew that. In any case, we have a lot of room within her plan. Her plan is surprisingly flexible. There's a lot of room for us to move around in it and keep an eye on her.
Keep your enemies close.
It aligns closely with what we were doing anyway.
Exactly.
No more portals. Bring back Arthur.
And if she is looking to betray us, which, quite honestly, she seemed sincere, but if she is looking to betray us, we will have plenty of opportunity to stop her. And if we ignore her and her plan, she's going to do it anyway. Except we won't be on the front lines.
What do we know about this dragon and what kind of threat it actually poses? Are we sure we can actually get into this alternate dimension or whatever it is and kill the dragon before it becomes a problem?
We've been in the alternate dimension once before.
How'd you get there?
It's in our report.
You think I actually read those?
That's just what HR makes us do, because it's crazy.
Stretch it out to a 40-hour work week.
I'm a goddamn king. I'm not a CEO. I don't do this job very well. Well, if we're going to go through with this plan, we're going to actually open these portals up. I'm assuming after we find this alternative solution to the Grail.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Apparently the wizard knows a bit more about it, but it's the Cauldron of Life, or Rebirth. Should bring him back from the dead, live and whole. I had always thought that it was a zombie cauldron, but apparently I was wrong.
Zombie cauldron could be cool.
Like too much D&D, dude.
No. There's a whole thing. I think it was probably the Irish cauldron. They threw the warriors in, they come out and they can't talk anymore, and they're all fucked up looking and shit. And it was like, oh, zombie cauldron.
No, that's not Irish. They're drunk. That's all.
All right. Anyway, that's beside the point. According to our magical guide, this should work. If it doesn't, we get the Grail. And if that doesn't work, we find something else. Or knights, we work until we get it. Or we all die trying.
Here, here.
It's like the old days again. Come on.
All right, Lancelot says, keep following this plan and see where it goes. He kind of looks back at the cabin like he has no idea what he's going to do with the contents of said cabin.
Yeah.
Lance, you gotta stay away from Guinevere.
No, how is that even possible? I've tried that before.
You're not doing a great job, maybe? It's for your own benefit.
Do you remember all the years in the wilderness? The madness?
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Right, well, yeah. That's where this all leads.
Yeah, to my birth, Galahad points out.
Yes, but you're already born. You don't need to go through that process again. Do you really want another sibling?
No. I'm sorry, you guys. I've tried many times before. There's something about her. We're meant to be together.
What if we took her from you?
And I would take her back angrily.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not, it's not.
I didn't realize this was, I didn't realize you had so little self-control.
No, we are not getting between you two. It wouldn't solve anything, it wouldn't stop anything, and I'm not going to fight you again over this. You know?
Yeah, it's the last thing we all need.
Exactly.
But
Are there any SLA meetings we can get Lance to go to?
you could come with us, which would keep you away from her.
You were always less troublesome with a sword in your hand.
Get you out from behind the desk.
Come on, Lance.
You know you want
Give them
to.
back their hero.
Desk is a terrible nickname for Guinevere.
All right. Good
We
enough.
got the band back together.
Yeah.
Give that man a flux point.
I'll tell you what, Dad. I will take Guinevere to Elaine, and they can hang out together.
Nice.
Be sure to record it for the blog.
I see a reality show.
I don't think that's a good idea, Lancelot. I think she needs a job and a place to stay because she obviously can't go back to working for Globex.
Right.
So,
There's an opening in HR.
Bird got eaten by a giant mole rat.
I never got a chance to decapitate him.
I'll take care of it. He says I'll talk to her and let's all meet back at the keep.
Wait, Lance is talking to Guinevere alone?
I can handle it.
No, you can't.
No.
You just said you can't. We're here to help you, Lance. For your own good.
She's right at the window. Stand on
Yeah.
this side of the window and talk to her.
Well,
We'll stand a ways
We'll
back.
stand over here.
La 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 la.
Come on, allow me to at least have a little bit of dignity here.
This is dignified.
Standing
Okay.
outside and talking is not dignified. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta answer the call of nature, so I'll give you all the dignity you need.
While I take a piss? You got it, as long as it takes me to take a piss. And then...
Luckily, he drank a lot of coffee, so you have
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah, you'll hear when I'm done. Totally dignified.
Alright, so he heads back in to talk to her in another room.
I want to say to Galahad, is there a back door to that place?
Not from that room. Well, maybe. I don't actually know. There might be.
I think it's because you said cabin, but I keep thinking of snow. If so, it's like you go to the back door and just see two sets of footprints leading off into the woods.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah, Galahad, maybe you should just take a mosey around back, just in case.
Yeah.
When did I become my father's keeper and guardian?
Is that
pretty-
when Guinevere came back?
Yeah. Actually, probably about 15 minutes after you were born.
You're his best friend. Why don't you do it?
All right, I'll do it.
Good. Crumbling under her breath. So there's conversation that goes on in the other room and goes on for a while.
God, how wild?
About 45 minutes or so passes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are they still just talking?
Yeah, they're just talking. You can just hear voices in there. That's all. That's every once in a while one of them gets a little bit raised and then comes back down again and.
Couldn't mean anything. Well, almost anything. Both of them are talking.
Give them space as long as they're talking. They're not doing anything else, so...
Meanwhile, back at base. Merlin is an artificial intelligence, so he's everywhere all the time. And so I assume that you're going to set up a meeting with who? Nemoi?
Yes.
Okay, she's in her office when you come back.
Okay. So I'll knock on the door, because that's what we do now.
Enter.
I come in. Good news! Well, sort of.
How come I don't believe you?
Because I'm considered an inveterate liar, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's true. So we met with Morgana under the guise of this Melinda Murphy character she's playing in Tristan Legault's penthouse, and she tried to sell us on the fact that what she's been doing is opening up these portals to resurrect Arthur. She said she really wants to go into the realms and kill this dragon that everyone, and I presume you, have been having visions of, and then find the body of Arthur and resurrect him with the Grail. Well, I talked her off the ledge with the Grail, as that's a terrible idea, and I convinced her to let us go look for the Père Titani.
Really?
Yes, really.
Convinced her.
I did. I'm so good at talking, I changed her religion.
Get this man a cult.
By the way, I'm going to flex point for that, right? For the Celtic, that's one of my hidden motivations. Anyway.
That's right. Yeah, you do get a plus point for that.
I'll take it. And I said, oh, but so here's what we came to, a kind of gentle understanding. What she says that what she really wants is for Arthur to come back, and whatever his law will be after that, she'll submit to. I'll believe it when I see it.
That.
What's that?
She really said that.
She really said that. I don't know if I believe it when I see it, but it's what she said. But words are whipped. But what we have right now is that she is willing to put a kibosh on the blowing up of portals and sending out cultists and getting Mordred all up in our business and bringing out the were-rats and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
If we are willing to go into the wasteland and search for the cauldron. She says she'll give us a certain amount of time, but she'll give us a heads up before she says, screw this, I'm just going to the grave. All of the knights went to talk this out with Lancelot, to have a long, difficult conversation about their relationship.
All of the knights together? Their relationship?
Yes.
All
Because
except
that's
Gorla.
what they do. Relationships are much easier when you can just find like a puddle and both become trees. That's how Morgana and Merlin did it. That's how the ancient gods of old did it. And it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
And it's worked out pretty well so far.
She stands up and she takes a set of keys out of her drawer and she says, please come with me. And she leads the way out of her office and into the elevator and down to the basement. There's like long silence in the elevator when she doesn't say anything.
Good thing it's Muzak.
Yeah. Goes down to like the first sub basement is the knight's quarters, and then like the second sub basement is your training area, and then she goes down all the way to the third sub basement, which is a set of caverns that opens up, and she takes you over to a natural water formation inside of this particular cave, and you can actually kind of feel the layer of magic that exists in this room. And she pulls out a little pouch from her purse, and she sprinkles some herbs into the water, and then she starts chanting some ancient priestess stuff. Yeah, something like that. Before the two of you in these still waters, you see Morgana sitting and talking to Gorloy at her table in the penthouse. They're having dinner now. They're chatting. They're catching up, and there's a lot of catching up to do. She's only a little insane. And Nimwe's eyes widen as she confirms, that is indeed Morgana. And she casts a quick spell. To see if she's been deceitful recently, right? And you can tell that that's what the spell is for. She said, well, she seems to be honest, at the very least. And it certainly sounds like the plan is plausible if you can find the cauldron. It would make sense that the dragon would be kept in the same dimension as Arthur, and she would be the only one who would know where he is. So, given all of that, how do you intend on looking for this cauldron?
Well, I have knights. I presume they'll quest.
First, we'll make a list of all the antique shops around.
You laugh as if that's not how it's done.
I also said, well, there's that, and I'm going to turn it over to my main technomancer lady over here.
Right, because it's all on the net, isn't it? Merlin should be of help as well, then. He should be able to help you search much faster, as a matter of fact, if you take him with you. Yes, that's the sound plan. Yes, I feel good about this plan. She takes out a deck of tarot cards and she lays 3 of them down. The final card that she lays down is the Tower.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
That's rarely good.
Right side up or upside down?
Right
Yeah,
there.
is it ill-defined, or what was that called? Ill... something.
She says this does not bode well. However, when a tower is destroyed, it leaves behind a strong base, and a new foundation can be built.
If there's anybody left to build,
Nothing that was ever worth doing was easy.
Exactly. You have my blessing.
Yay! Actually means a lot.
Go use your knights. Seek out the cauldron. If you need my assistance with Morgana, let me know.
I am ever your servant.
Yes, you are.
Damn, Skippy.
Damn, Skippy. Damn, Skippy, you are. Okay.
Does Celia have any thoughts about this? Kat, are you still on the call? One moment.
No.
Yeah, it looks like she's there.
Okay, apparently she's having issues, and she says she might as well just come downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Yeah, she got kicked out. And I had to give her the URL in order to come back. I guess it didn't work very well.
One second. Okay, apparently she's just on board with whatever.
Okay. Alright. After about an hour of talking back at the cabin, Lancelot finally comes out with a kind of cowed Guinevere following shortly thereafter.
Oh, good.
He says, alright, let's head back.
All right. You can ride with us.
How generous.
Just trying to look out for you, buddy.
Guinevere perks up. Does that mean I get to drive a sports car? Yes. I don't know if you want to let her do that, Galahad says. I don't know if I want to let her do anything.
Well, you want to drive her?
No, I have a motorcycle to drive, thank you very much.
She
Right.
can ride on the back.
You. But then somebody still has to drive my car, Lancelot says.
I can drive the car.
Alright. The Knights of the Round Table are standing around coordinating who's going to drive.
Well,
It's
well,
like-
my home is closer to Gawain's on the way back. But it's fine, because I was just going to go by the grocery store anyway.
We're not coordinating who drives. We're coordinating how to make sure that Lancelot and Guinevere don't end up in the same vehicle and take off.
Galahad finally agrees to take Guinevere on her bike.
Oh, good. That'll be funny. Leave the channel open.
No, I'm going to turn it off. I get enough shit from you guys.
All right, let's head out.
Alright. As soon as you guys get back, Lancelot calls for a meeting for all of the knights, not just you guys who've been on his little special team of getting things done, but all of the lesser knights that have been kind of floating around, and all of the knights that you guys don't hang out with regularly, Percival, Bors.
Are the lesser knights also Flux event knights, or are they just people who work for the company?
They're Flux event knights.
Okay.
And he says, as you guys are heading upstairs, he says, I don't even know what I'm going to say to any of them. Hello, everybody. We're going to work with Morgana to bring back Arthur. Doesn't sound exactly like a great CEO speech.
I don't see the
Don't
need
talk
for you
to them
tell
like they're
them
like you're a CEO.
I can give it.
Shush, wizard.
Look,
Fair enough.
when an executive team decides to make a very controversial decision, they don't usually tell everybody in the company, right?
No, I mean, we could keep it from a large number of people, but they're going to find out one way or another.
They'll find out once the positive results that are to come from this decision have come from this decision. It'll ease it.
Hold on, I have an idea. How about you call the meeting and we just go old school and have the wizard create a vision of the cauldron, and then everybody goes running off after it like they did for the Grail.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic idea.
It's the equivalent of like a general staff email.
You know,
With a GIF. An animated one of the cauldron bubbling.
You can send that to everybody's iPhones.
Let's mimic the going over the schematics of the Death Star scene as closely as possible.
Can you translate that for Star Trek fans?
I don't think you can translate that for Star Trek.
Okay, never mind.
You just suck if you're not a Star Wars fan. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to.
Aww.
Yeah.
yes.
I'm really trying right now, Arthur. I don't think they ever go over like a couple of times in Borg episodes. Maybe they're like, "Oh, all right, this is how we're
They
gonna
don't do it for all of Starfleet, but in every episode of Star Trek, they gather around like the wooden conference table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Beverly Crusher is always like, I don't know anything. And Data's like, here's the thing that you need to know.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of going to the ready room.
Okay.
And Deanna has a emotional feeling that all of us could feel anyway. Like, I think he's angry, and the guy's like, just
Better about it in later seasons.
No, they just all go to the holodeck, and they step into the scene where they're going over the schematic of the Death Star in Star Wars.
That's the translation.
Would perhaps a better suggestion be Alec Baldwin's scene in Glengarry Glen Ross?
Okay.
Cauldrons are for closers!
Always be questing!
Have I said recently that I love you people?
Oh.
I'm sorry, our dog has taken over this feed. Ridiculous.
Puppy.
Anyway, yeah, just a general staff meeting to go over what's what, I think would be...
Stacey, I think you think that we're doing all of this out of character. This is the conversation we're having as we go up the stairs to prep the meeting.
And in the meantime, Lancelot is just kind of pacing back and forth in front of the room, trying to decide what it is he's going to say, almost completely ignoring everybody. And then people start kind of filtering in, here and there, and like the Percival wanders over to Galahad and kind of murmurs at her, and she kind of murmurs back at him. She's always got to be the cool one, like leaning up against the window while everybody else is sitting down.
I yell at the accounting knights because they're trying to stand in the doorway as usual. I tell them, "Bring it in, everyone inside."
Then he gets up there, and what he decides to do is to give them a brief overview of what you guys found in the net, the blighted area, and how that connects to the wasteland, and that you're now on the search for a cauldron instead of a grail because it's believed that that might help with the quest to return Arthur. He leaves out all of the part about Morgana, the wards, the dragon, Guinevere, what he's going to be doing in any of this. And then he just kind of waves at the wizard and says, show them what the cauldron looks like.
All right, I do this up big. This is like the Laser Floyd light show of Vision.
Does like low rumbling music start playing? Like low techno hum?
Da-da-da-da-da.
Play the final countdown.
I was
And
afraid
the
you were
world.
going to pick up a styrofoam cup and hold it up.
And I show them the big vision of the thing and do a brief history about Bran the Blessed and everything else and all the things it could do and how it will not just save the world in which we live, but allow Camelot to last 1,000 years.
Huzzah.
And then Lancelot gives a stirring speech about his love for his king, which is very deep felt, despite his affair with Guinevere, or conflicted Lancelot, and the need to complete this quest, and very heartfelt, very sounds like his old self, and then everybody kind of filters out as they go about on their quest now to find this.
Did he like shut down all the other projects? Like everyone
just runs out.
Let's find it.
Like, wait, hold on, payroll. Hey, hold on.
But he gives at the end. He gives kind of like that CEO thing of everybody needs to do their part in order to make this project happen, and whatever it is that you've got to do in order to make it happen, you're on it. Everybody is responsible. Synergy and take action. And
everybody's responsible for filling out their own expense report.
Anybody who says synergy, I will turn them into a toad.
Oh, and I got a note from facilities. Whoever keeps placing their sword in the table in the break room needs to please stop. We've said to replace 4 tables in the last month. Practice drills are in the sub-basement. Remember that. Thank you. Now dismissed. Okay. We are at a good
gonna
point.
be our strongest year ever.
Maybe our strongest year ever. Oh God, I hate CEOs.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a good place to put a save point, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're on a new quest.
We're on a new quest to find the cauldron and find out what's happening with the wasteland. And we'll start making those rolls to search for wasteland next session. And so that'll be Kat, and Merlin will help you, so I'll have to figure out how to deal with that. And Lancelot probably needs stats. He's going to be out knighting with you guys.
He's statted in the book, but he's not very well statted in the book.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a different. It's a different Lancelot than the one in the book.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
He's not very well statted in the book?
No.
Yeah, it's a different character, essentially, than the one that I chose.
Yours
he's
is better.
Yeah, the one in the book, he's got MS, and he's in a wheelchair most of the time.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, say goodbye to the internet, and we'll stop right
Bye,
there.
internet.
Later, Tim.
Bye.
Bye. And then